All right, folks, John here. We're going to talk bedding in the brooder. What is the best bedding to use? You'll never believe this. I can hear through the window the ducks talking, and it sounds like they always sound like they're low-key laughing at me or something. But because, I'm self-conscious, they're always laughing at me. But we are going to talk about brooder bedding right now. Okay, let's go. There is a ton of fun information on the internet about the best brooding bedding for your birds. That was wonderful alliteration. And now the birds are all calming down. They're used to me. They're warm, getting away from the heat sources. There's a little bit of draft from the open door right there, and they're all hanging out. And what we're looking at here, this bedding, I'm going to zoom in, is hemp. That's right. It's the hemp byproduct from a hemp farm. It's almost wood chippy, but it's a good mix of wood chips and fines, the way wood chips just don't provide. And I found that combination for me has stayed very dry. And the smell, it smells great. It smells like floral, woody, I don't know. It's a newer smell. Having had little experience with hemp before this. Now, one of the best and most highly recommended bedding materials is actually peat moss. It's very dry, it gets very dusty, and it's very good at absorbing moisture, smell, ammonia with the birds. And many of the appa producers who produce at like the 10,000 bird, 20,000 bird or more scale that I'm friends with use that peat moss. The reason why I don't use it is because my dear friend and fellow farm operator business partner, David, is severely allergic to atomized poop. That chicken poop, when it gets in the dust and the dander from the birds, when we're working and it's up in the air, gives him a severe allergy attack, and it is no good. So good bedding or not, we're not going to use peat moss only because it doesn't fit in with our lifestyle. And I care way more about David than I do about peat moss. So peat moss, highly recommended, doesn't work for me. We, for years, used pine shavings. Well, we have a friend in the hemp industry, and hemp is not marijuana. So if you're thinking that, please just read up on it. Hemp is an industrial material used for other applications than CBD or marijuana uses. They're different plants, and what we're using here is not getting our chickens high. It just smells nice, and it's a wood chip byproduct thing. I know that wasn't a very technical definition, but I shoot these videos without doing a lot of prior research or practice. I'm sure there's all kind of articles, and people are going to leave comments in the comment section. So we used pine shavings before this. Pine shavings work really well. You don't want to use sawdust because the dust is too fine. It hangs on to moisture, and the birds can confuse it with food and eat it, and then it gets stuck in their guts. Pine shavings work well, but we have to pay $4.50, $5 per bale of pine shavings. It takes an average of 2.5 to 3 bales per 240 birds for us. You can do 1 bale for these 80 birds, might be enough. 2 to cover the entire ground space once we open up the brooder. But because I get this for free, it is non-allergenic, and the birds seem to do really well on it, and it stays really dry. We are using hemp mess. A lot of science and technical data today on today's video. Got a warm, toasty breeze from the door so that I can get, it's hot in here. It is currently 87 degrees at the thermometer, 84 at the probe down there. 31% relative humidity. and this is what the birds are doing. You're going to hear me repeat over and over again that there is not one right way to do this. There are the methods are many, the principles are few. The first person I heard say it like that is actually the executive director of the American Pasture Poultry Producers Association, Mike Badger, where he was talking about, he had a really good episode on scalding birds during processing. And he was like, do you go with this temperature or this time? It depends. There's a relationship there. What works for one person isn't necessarily going to work for another person at a different elevation. With an insulated brooder, with no allergies to bedding, with access to some other type of free bedding. Like this is free bedding for me, so it works out financially very well. Don't beat yourself up if you make the right choice or the wrong choice. Like celebrate if you make the right choice and your birds are happy and you're saving money. If you make the wrong choice, that is part of the learning curve. That's how you know what questions to ask, is by doing it and experiencing it and linger grazing and seeing if what choices you made are having a positive effect and doing what you want. That's science and experimentation. So be a better chicken farmer, even if you're just doing it at a homestead or a small scale. 80 birds is a homestead scale, but I have too much going on to be bigger than this for this batch of birds, and I am perfectly comfortable with that. Thanks for taking the time. Stop in on the Brooder. Check out my little cute birdie birds. Hope you guys, look at this, dinosaur farmer. Those little dinosaurs down there. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Until next time, I will see you out in the field.